gents, it's your favorite Jamaican here coming to you just to say thank you. Thank you for all the support from everyone that has liked, commented, shared, subscribed to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. This is only the beginning and there's many more to come. Thank you guys. Continue to share, continue to support, continue to subscribe. Tell your friends, friends, tell them to come over. It's about to be all fun games, about to get real stupid from here on out. Again, guys, thank you so much for all you guys have done. Continue to help me out here. Continue to share, continue to like, continue to comment, subscribe. Don't forget to leave suggestions in the comment box. I'm not too big or feel like I'm more than to hear you guys' comments. Thank you again, guys, and continue to share, like, comment, and subscribe. It's story time. So today's story is going to be about my journey to the United States of America. It was it was a journey. It was a journey. It started in 2012 and I came here in 2013. But the journey to getting here, it was not one that I was expecting, to say the least. I remembered when I was in school. So in Jamaica, we go up for high school. We go all the way up to the 11th grade. And if you want to go to the 12th or the 13th grade, it's like a pre-university community college type thing that we can, embark on before going to an actual university. So I remember finishing 11th grade in 2011 and started the 12th grade September of 2011 and thinking, okay, I'm going to knock out the 12th and the 13th grade and then probably go find me a job, send myself back to school, whatever it takes for me to advance in life, So in 2012, coming close to the end of my 12th grade, I was told that, hey, you won't be able to go to the 13th grade, right? You won't be able to go there. It's a no-go, right? People, I wasn't born rich. I was born blessed. I was not born rich. I was born blessed. So money wasn't there. Straight up, money wasn't there to go to the next grade. So I've always been the type of person where I always want to have plans. So when I found out I was going to the 12th grade, I was like, okay, I have until like maybe the end of 12th grade to the beginning of 13th grade or maybe mid 13th grade to figure out what my next move is going to be. If I'm going to go to work, if I'm going to go back to school, what is the deal? However, life happened, and coming to the end of the 12th grade, I found out, hey, you won't be going to the next grade. So now all my thoughts that I had, all my plans are now in shambles. I had to regroup, come back and be like, okay, what am I going to do now that this first option, since it didn't work out, what I'm going to do next? So I had to tell myself, okay, what is it? So personally, I've always wanted to be a soldier. Always wanted to be a soldier. It was like a quiet goal of mine that I've always wanted to do. And when the whole school thing didn't work out, I was like, okay, this is going to be my next option. I'm going to join the military. This is what I'm going to do. It wasn't my ideal goal in life, but it was always a goal, something that I wanted to accomplish, being a soldier. And I was like, okay, I'm going to join the military because this whole school thing is not working out. I'm going to do that. And I remembered a couple months before the end of the 12th grade, right before exams, I went to the military base and went to go, find out, inquire about the process of becoming a soldier. And I remember walking in. I remember this day very vividly. I remember walking in, and people were looking at me, like the soldiers were looking at me like, okay, maybe she's just somebody coming. I was just somebody, but they were looking at me, and I was a little taken aback by that. And I remember going into the building and talking to one of the soldiers there, and I went in there and I said, hey, I'm just here to find out the process it takes for me to become a soldier. And I kid you not, guys, I kid you not. This man looked at me and he straight up told me with a straight face, we're not recruiting any females. And I was like, I was shook. I was shook. I was shook in my boots. I was probably wearing slippers at the time, but however, I was shook. I was shook. And I stood there for a second like, he's not talking to me. He's not talking to me at all. Like, no, my dad served like 22 years in this place. Y'all not about to tell me right now that I can't be a part of this. No, not work. That's not an uncertain to go. But he was so serious. I was waiting for him to say it was a joke. I was waiting for him to say it's a joke. It wasn't a joke. He was dead ass serious. He was serious. And I remember just wanting to slap him in the back of his neck. But I knew if I did that, I would have proved him right as to why they don't want females. So I had to hold it. And I, turned my old self around and went on my way. Walking back to the bus stop, I remember thinking to myself, okay, what am I going to do now? I'm like, I'm just going to have to apply for some jobs. Probably going to have to work in some wholesale, some supermarket, whatever it is. But I will not, I repeat, I will not finish the 12th grade and not have something to do. Like, that was just not an option for me. It wasn't working out. So went back to the bus stop, like my head, my wheels were turning. I was ready to just figure out what is my next step. Got on the bus. That's all I thought about the whole way home. That's all I thought about. I remember going home telling my mother, and she was just like, oh, I didn't even know you wanted to do that. I was like, that's not the point. Like, you're supposed to be mad with me here. Like, I'm mad that this man just told me to my face that they're not recruiting women, and you just over here talking about, oh, I didn't even know you wanted to do that. Like, that's not the point. That's besides the point, ma'am. I need you to be mad with me. That's how I felt. And I remember just going home and just like starting to apply for jobs. Like this was like still studying for school because I still had a couple months left. Still had exams to do. Still had a lot of stuff to go through to finish the 12th grade. And I was just like, okay, no. We're doing this. We're applying for jobs. Me, I go figure it out. Me, this young girl, she will figure it out. That's what I tell myself. Like, I'm gonna figure it out. That's the thing. And applied for some jobs. Still went to school. Still finished up. Still tried what I had to do. And then, boom, the 12th grade ended. And no job. Again, life happened. No job. So now I'm just like, wow, what am I going to do now? So now I was just at home, applying for jobs, not getting called for not even interviews, because nobody wants a kid out of high school with no experience, no credentials, no nothing, coming to work for them. Like, it's very rare that this happens. You would have to be born with a silver spoon in your mouth for that to happen. And like I said, I wasn't born rich. I was born blessed. All right. So that wasn't happening for me. That was a no-go for me. So, still applied for jobs, still hold fate. Wasn't working, wasn't going to school because couldn't go back to school. And I remember just deciding, okay, maybe like mid-September of 2012, I decided, hey, I'm going to do the police force. Wasn't my ideal situation, wasn't my ideal thought. That's not what the route I wanted to take. I wanted to be a soldier, not a police officer. But soldier wasn't working out, so I had to scratch that off the list. Wasn't getting any jobs, so I just had to wait And I'm just like, okay, the police force is the next best thing right now. I'm still gonna be wearing uniform because I always admired people in uniform. Guys, I've always liked people in uniform, and I always wanted to be one of those people. And I'm just like, okay, F this, I'm going to the police force. And I remember in maybe late September, early October, I did the test and I passed. And I was just like, okay, so this is the route I'm gonna take. This is my alternate route that I need to take because nothing else was working out. So I was just like, all right, this is what it is. Went home. Nobody knew I was gonna go take the test. So when I went home, I told my mother, hey, took the test for the police force and I passed. And she was just shocked. Like, she was shocked. And again, she asked me, she was like, oh, I didn't know you wanted to do that. And I just looked at her and I was just thinking to myself, like, you see, this is why I work in silence. Because you're not with me right now. And I don't like that, you know. But that's how I felt. It was like, first I did the police, the soldier thing. That didn't work out. Then I did the police force and you told me the same thing. And I'm just not going to tell you nothing. Like, you're just going to see me show up one day in uniform. Like, I'm not going to tell you nothing more. So she was happy. And she was like, okay. And of course, mothers, they're worried. So I was like, okay, this is what it is. This is the route. Then in November, I got a call from my lovely, lovely, lovely stepmother. She lives here in the US. And she was like, oh, I'm gonna put in the papers for you and your sister for come here. Excuse me, what? Yes? She was like, yeah, you guys are gonna come here. And I'm just like, why didn't you tell me this a month ago? You had me out here in shambles trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. And you told me this a month after I done did this test. All excited now about this police thing. And now here you are telling me, oh, you guys are gonna be migrating. So just letting you know. And I was very happy because I liked that I had two options now. I had the police force and coming to America. Coming to America was a little bit leading at this point. But it was good to have the police force thing backing because when I was in school, I thought that I was going to have a little more time to decide what my next move was going to be. And I realized that that wasn't so. So the fact that I had those two right there, I was happy. So I was like, okay, cool. Still going through the process of the police force while the process of my filing was there. And they were neck and neck. I was just like, all right, so I'm not even going to look for no job. So now the job people, now they're starting to call for interviews and stuff. And I be going to these interviews. I'm going to straight up tell y'all, I was going to these interviews and these people weren't calling me back. But at the same time, I wasn't worried about that though. I wasn't too worried. I was like, I have these two solid things that's going for me right now. Y'all can keep your jobs at this point. Like, at this point, y'all can keep it because when I needed it, y'all went there. So y'all can keep them jobs. Couple months went by, filing going, police force processing going. Everything is coming together. Then my sister came and we went to the embassy to get our visas. I remember waking up that morning early. My mother took us there because it's two 19-year-olds. She was already 20 at the time. I was 19. First time going to the embassy. First time holding a passport to begin with. I didn't know what I was doing. So, listen, ma'am, you have to come with me. She didn't know what she was doing either because she never traveled. But guess what? Mothers know everything. So guess what? Whether you knew or not, you're coming because you know. By default, you know. So you coming with us. So she came with us, and when we got there, we had handbag with like lotion and camera and knives because I don't know why we were walking with knives. We're just that type of girls, you know. And I remember we couldn't go in with any of those stuff. And it's just like, you see, this is why you're here, mother. This is why you came. You knew that these people were going to charge us because they had like little Ziploc bags to put stuff in if you couldn't take it on the inside. And you had to pay these people to keep your stuff till you came out. So I was happy that my mother was there. Like, okay, we're going to give you all this stuff. You're going to keep all this stuff. We're going to go in here. Because she couldn't come in with us. She couldn't. She was not the one on the papers. She couldn't come in. So she had to be the bag holder and hold our stuff while we go in and did our thing. And we're going through the whole scanner thing, making sure. It's like when you go into the airport. You go through the thing and they scan you, all that. Went in, sat down. We were just waiting for a name to be called. It was like you were in a bank, but everybody could probably hear what's going on. Especially there was this man where when he talks into that mic, he didn't even need to talk into the mic. That man's voice was just naturally a speaker, like a loud outdoor speaker box. Like that was his voice, like straight up. And so we were just sitting there. We were just like, I'm hoping to Jesus we don't get that guy. And we met this other guy while we were sitting there, and he was waiting for his interview too. And we were all just there, just like, we're just hoping he doesn't call any of us. Sitting there, we waited. And then the young man that we met while we were waiting, his name got called by that guy. And me and my sister busted out laughing. I don't know how these people didn't tell us that y'all ain't going to America after how we busted out laughing in that place. But we busted out laughing. He went up there and we didn't even know his story. But we knew his story by the time he left out of that building. Because that man was putting his story out there. So got married and he needed to bring like his marriage certificate and pictures of the wedding and all that extra stuff. He didn't have any of that stuff. And he was just putting him on blast. And we were just there like, oh my God. I am just hoping that we have everything that we need to get this. Because I don't know what I would do. Because you were so excited. It's coming to the end of the process of us coming here. And it's like, we're not about to let this old man stop me from getting here. Right? So, sat there. That went by. A couple more people went by. And then that man called my sister. And I was shocked because I thought that because we were both getting filed for together, that they would have interviewed both of us together. That wasn't the case. It was just only her. So she got up and she went. And I was still sitting there. And I come to find out, the guy isn't so bad. He's just very loud at people who didn't have their ducks in a row. You know, because when he was talking to her, I could barely hear what he was saying to her. And I was just sitting there, I was just waiting. I was like, okay, she has the same documents that I do. So if she's fine, then we're good. Then I heard my name called by somebody else. And I got up and I walked over to the counter. And the guy took all my paperwork and, you know, the usual casual greetings, how you doing today type stuff. And I'm fine. How are you? And, you know, the whole thing. And he was just like, oh, so do you know why your dad's name didn't get on your birth certificate till you were 11? And I'm just like, it's on there. Like, I didn't say that. I was thinking that, like, bro, it's on there. Like, why you gotta bring up the past, dog? Like, why you have to bring up the past? Like, it's on there now. Like, just take it. And that's what I thought, but I couldn't say that. I couldn't say that at all. So I was just like, as far as I know, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't know. I didn't expect him to ask me this question. So I don't know. And he was just like, okay. He got up, he walked away, he came back. He was just like, do you have any like pictures or anything to show us that he's your father and he's been around your entire life? And I'm looking at this guy like, Sir, on the list of stuff that you told us to bring, it never said pictures. Not one time. It never said pictures. And you know you asked me for pictures. Like, no, I don't got no pictures. Again, I couldn't say that. I was just like, no, I don't have any pictures. And he was like, oh, okay. You don't have anything at all to show that he has been around, been in your life since you were a little girl to now that you are a young adult. And I'm just like, no. And just like no, I don't. Like, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, y'all never told me to bring pictures. Like, you tell me to bring pictures. I don't got pictures, buddy. I don't have pictures. But that's neither here nor there. And then he left again. He came back. Bear in mind, my sister finished and she's out now. He came back and he was like, oh, we're gonna have to order you a DNA sample to prove that this man is your father. And I was just thinking, like, what type of Murray, Jerry Springer stuff is this going on? And I was just like, okay. And then he slid me my passport back. Bear in mind, if you got the visa, you wouldn't have gotten the passport back. So when he slid that passport back to me and be like, oh, these are all your stuff, and he gave me the passport, I was just like, okay, I guess I'm not getting the visa right now. He was like, yeah, you're just going to hold on to this, and once we get the results back from the DNA and we can prove that he's your father, then we'll take your passport and you can get your visa and then we can continue your process. And I was just like, wow. So now this stranger has me thinking, is this man my father? Like, this, just that one question about him asking me why is this name on the thing, and then he wanted a DNA test, and now I'm thinking, is this man my father? Was my mother a fast one, and does she got some explaining to do? Like, that's some of the stuff I was thinking about walking out of that building. Like, she's outside waiting for me to come out here with a visa. I got a visa, but you got some explaining to do, ma'am. That's how I felt. Came out. And then when I remember coming out, I came out and I was just so calm. All that, oh, I'm going to question her, find out if she was a fast one, stuff, all that just went, because now I'm sad. I'm sad that I didn't get it. And then I went out and my sister got hers. She got hers. And I was sad. Like, I can laugh about it now because I'm past that, but I was sad. And I remember having to be happy for her because I was happy for her. But at the same time, I'm happy for her, but I am just sad. I'm just sad. And I remember going home, and the bus ride home was just very quiet. Like, we didn't talk like we did when we were first going up there. It was just quiet, and I was just sad. Sad and just thinking to myself, okay, is this the end of my filing process? And in the midst of that, thanking God that I didn't give up on the police process, because that was still in my back pocket. I still had that in my back pocket, and that was the greatest thing for me. But I was sad because I was excited about the United States. I was excited to come here. I was excited to fly on that big bird for the first time. Like, I wanted to do all that stuff, and to hear this stranger question me about who my father is, the only person that I know who my father is, was just crazy to me. Again, I wanted to slap him too for asking me stupid question, but then I realized that he's not the fault. I need to go talk to these parents of mine, and coming home, and like I said, sad, and my sister was staying at my house, because where she lived was a little bit further from the embassy than where I live, so she was staying at my house until she went to get the stuff. So here I am, sad. She's happy. She's ready to continue her process, and I'm just stuck. And I remember when I finally started to come back around, I started asking my mother questions like, oh, is this DNA test gonna prove something else? Is there somebody else? If there's somebody else, tell me now, because I don't want this DNA test to come back that he's not my father, and then now you're gonna want to explain to me now. Don't let a DNA test surprise me. And she was like, little girl, go sit down. because are your father, are your father. You know, see, the two want to look the same. I was like, I don't see it, but okay. And she was like, I don't have no worries. I don't have no worries. He's your father. He's your father. And I'm just like, we'll see. We shall see. And she started laughing because she was just like, I'm not worried. I'm not worried. He's your father. He's your father. I was like, so why are you repeating it? Why are you repeating it though? Why are you repeating it? I feel like you not telling me something. And she was like, look, girl, go sit down. And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just trying to feel you out here to see what's going on, because why is this stranger questioning me about my father? The only man that I know is my father. I'm about to be 20 here. This should have been said a long time ago if he wasn't. And she was like, he's your father, he's your father. And my sister was like, Renee, you know, Clive your father. And I was like, I don't know now. I don't know now. And I was just so extra with it because I was mad, sad, and just a lot of emotions going on. I was just like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And so she went ahead in the process now because she had already gotten hers. So they're not going to wait for me. Because even though our papers got sent in at the same time, they treated it like two separate things. Even though each time she got to do something, I got to do it too. However, once this DNA thing came about, she went ahead and I was a little left behind. And so she ended up coming here that September. She got the visa. We got the visa in August, and well, she got the visa in August, and she came here in September. I had to wait for the DNA test. So they finally got my kit for me to do my DNA test. It was time for me to get my swabbing. They sent me a letter and they told me the date and the time that I was supposed to come back to the embassy to get swabbed. I don't remember the date exactly, but I know it was a 9 o'clock appointment. 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, people. Bear in mind I said 9 o'clock. So, because I had already went to the embassy, I know what the process is. My mother was like, do you need me to come? I was like, I don't know, because I'm kind of looking at you sideways right now. So, I don't want you to go nowhere with me, you know? And she was just like, you sure? I was like, no, I got this. I got this. So, I went. She was like, oh, so who's going to keep your phone? I was like, I had it all planned out. My little sister, she had her godmother. She sold, like, ground provisions and vegetables and stuff, like all that stuff she sold downtown. So I'm just like, okay, when I get downtown, before I get on the next bus to the embassy, I'm gonna leave my cell phone with her, and I'm not gonna bring any handbag with any knives and lotion and all that stuff. I'm just gonna go out there empty-handed, just with the paperwork that they told me to bring. Right? So I had it all planned out. So I was like, you don't need to come with me. You need to stay here and think about what your excuse is gonna be if this DNA comes back that this man is not my father. And she laughed because she thought I was kidding. I wasn't kidding. I was serious, people. I was serious. And got there like 8 o'clock. Because I didn't know how many people need to do DNA. I don't know how many people were in the same similar boat as me. So I wanted to make sure that I got there on time. So if they had to give us numbers and all that stuff to go sit down, that I was close. Went up there, went in. When I went in, this man told me to go into this room. And he was like, you're going to sit in this room, and then you're going to see the person who's going to swab you. They're going to come on the other side of the glass. And I was just like, okay. And I went in there around maybe 8:45-ish. Bear in mind, my appointment is at 9 o'clock a.m. in the morning. Sat there, and 9 o'clock got here. Nobody. I was like, okay. It's 9 o'clock. It's the appointment time. Let me wait. They're probably getting my stuff together. They're coming. 9:30. Nothing. 10 o'clock. Nothing. 11 o'clock. Nothing. 12 o'clock. Nothing. So I got up and I peeped through the door. Because now I was hungry. I needed to pee. Peeped through the door and this lady saw me. And she was like, why are you in that room? And I'm just like, one of your people put me in here. I'm like, I was thinking to myself, like, ma'am, how would I end up in this room? This is the embassy, the United States Embassy. I would not just waltz my little self up in here and put myself into this room. Somebody had to put me into this room. And she was like, oh, what is your name? And I told her my name. And she was like, oh, your appointment was at 9 o'clock. I was like, yeah, I've been in there since like 8:45. And she was just like, really? I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, then why didn't you come out? I'm like, because he told me to sit there until somebody came on the other side of the glass, and I've been waiting for somebody to come on the other side of the glass to swap me. She was like, oh, that's not the room that you were supposed to be in. They put you in the wrong room. And whose fault is that, lady? Please tell me whose fault is that, because it sure as hell ain't mine. Whose fault is it? So she was like, oh, you were supposed to be in room A. And I'm just like, okay, so what am I going to do now? Because my appointment time is gone. And she was like, oh, well, all the people that's going to do the swabbing, like, they're going on lunch now, and we pick back up at 1 o'clock. Bear in mind, I wasn't born rich. I was born blessed. So I went to this place, didn't eat no breakfast. No breakfast, hungry as hell. Now this lady's telling me at 12 o'clock that you're going to have to wait till 1. She was like, oh, but you'll be the first one. You'll be the first one to go in since you've been here. Because she went and spoke to whoever she needs to talk to, and they told her, yeah, since it's our fault, then we're still going to have to swap her. So 1 o'clock came, and that's when they told me to go into the room. And walking to the room, and she making a joke out of talking about, oh, yeah, we're making sure that this is the right room. I was like, it's y'all's fault. It's y'all's fault to begin with. So don't even come to me with your little jokes, lady. Like, I do the joking around here, not you. Like, who you think you are? And I went in there. They swabbed me. I came out. I left. I remember going back downtown. My mother was blowing up my phone that I left with the lady. I had to call her and tell her the little dilemma. She was like, Jesus Christ. Well, you not even eat nothing because I know say, it's the dead bus fear me give you for go up there. So that's all I had was just the bus here to get there, bus here to get back, because I didn't expect to be up there that long. So when I got home, she made sure I got something to eat. You know, thank you, my mother. Love you. Yeah, and now I wait. And I told her, like, if you got something to tell me now. Don't let this DNA result come back and he's not my father. But I was already planning stuff in my head. Like, okay, if the DNA result doesn't come back and he's not my father, I'm just going to fall off the grid. Ain't nobody with the last name Stone going to hear from me no more. Because all y'all deceived me my entire life. Nobody talk to me. I want nobody to talk to me. Leave me alone. I'm going to go join the police force. And that's it. I'll still carry the name because I don't got no other name to go by. And I can't just go by Renee. So I'll keep the name, but I don't want to talk to none of y'all. You know, that's how I felt. I was mad. The results came back. Now, obviously, he's my father. So they say. He's my father. And they called me to bring my passport in to get my visa. And yeah. And that's when I was just like, okay, it's going. And in the midst of all of that, the police force done set me a date to start training. I was just like, yo, peace. Because your girl out. She's out. She ain't doing it. Not happening. It's not happening. She's going to go to America. She's going to start a new life in America. She's going to become a United States soldier. And if you guys want to hear my journey to the United States Army, keep liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing for part 2 of this video when I talk about my journey to the United States Army. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting. Thank you guys for just all the love that I've been getting so far on my first video. Continue to like, comment, share, subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell everybody to come out. I'm just going to sit here and talk about my life. And tell me what you guys want to hear about. Suggest things you guys want me to talk about. I'm going to talk about experiences I've had with men. Reason why I'm probably single. All that stuff, guys. But just continue to support. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And I will see you in my next video.